we're going to talk about a fine child. It's amazing, isn't it? How babies are just so cute. I mean, you'd be hard pressed to see one that's not so cute. They're just beautiful, they're cuddly, and sometimes you literally even want to eat them up. That's how God made them. And what happens when the Lord gives you a fine child? What do you do with that one? So today, that's what we're going to talk about. Let's look at the scripture. Exodus chapter 2, verse 1 to 4. Now a man of the tribe of Levi married a Levite woman, and she became pregnant and gave birth to a son. When she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months. But when she could hide him no longer, she got a papyrus basket for him and coated it with tar and pitch. Then she placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the river. His sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. This is an account of the birth of Moses. And at that time, there was an edict that had gone out to kill the Hebrew baby boys particularly. They wanted to cut them short, just like it was in the days of Jesus, because of course the deliverer was coming. And this, as we've read here, is how Moses was born. Moses' mother, Jochebed, is one of those women that she's so amazing, really, when you look at her, but a lot is not said about her. In this chapter, it talks about her, what happened. As she gave birth to her son, remember that time all the boys were being killed. But the scripture tells us when she saw that he was a fine child, she hid him for 3 months, So this child, it's like she could determine, she could feel that this child was different. This child was going to be a deliverer. And as a believer, I want to ask you something. Everything that God gives you and I is good, whether it's your business, whether it is a child, or whether it's your marriage or whatever. We ought to treat it like Jochebed did with her son. It's a fine child. It's a good thing, because every good and every perfect thing comes from God. And so that's what she did. She hid him. In other words, she treasured him. And I guess, this is the gospel according to Dorothy. In those 3 months, she was thinking, Lord, you've given me such a gift. What should I do with it? How do I preserve this? And I think that's the same thing that we should ask God. When He's given us something that's so fine and equates a fine child, how should we do it? And in that 3 months, she was brooding over it. It says it came to a time where she could hide him no longer. So she got this papyrus basket from him, coated it with tar and pitch. She placed the child in it and put it among the reeds along the bank of the river. Now, when we read the verses that come after, we do know that Pharaoh's sister was at the Nile, and then she was bathing at that time. Was it coincidence? I believe that the woman, Jochebed, knew that Pharaoh's sister was going to be there. She knew her circumstances. She knew what kind of woman she was and how she would have pity on her child. And so we're asking God for the Spirit of God, that if what God gives us, whatever it is, that we would treasure it, that at the same time we ask God for wisdom so that we can connect with our connector, the one that will take us to the next level. In this case, in Jochebed's case, was Pharaoh's sister. But watch what she did. It says here in verse 4, his sister stood at a distance to see what would happen to him. Jochebed made sure that Miriam would watch out because she was expectant. She knew that God was going to come through, and this fine child that had been given to her would be protected. God has given you and I a fine child. He's given us a treasure. And let's stand at a distance and watch and see what the Lord will do. One thing you can rely on is that He will come through for you, and deliverance will come the same way deliverance came through Moses. God bless you. If you were blessed by this message, or you want to hear more, there's the details on the screen. Share, like, and spread the news abroad. You can also join us in person. The details on the screen. God bless you.